Hey YouTube, Minuteman Corner here. Today we're gonna go over a really pretty quick video over shotguns and their role in SHTF, World War III, whatever you want to call it, Red Dawn scenario, whatever you want to call it. Because honestly, they kind of serve the same purpose, and that main purpose is always a secondary purpose to whatever it is you have. The shotgun is an awesome tool to have in the toolbox. It is not a one-size-fits-all. It is, it can definitely fill a lot of roles when it comes to, say around the homestead, whatever you want, stuff like that. But just going into the pros here, or actually first, let's go into what we got right here. This is a Remington 870 Tactical, and this is really pretty typical for your, not super typical because I have dressed it up for a little bit, but out of the box, I think this was like, I'm pretty sure I got it at Rural King for, $220, $230. I think I got it on sale, and that was with all the stock parts, which for most every American, that is affordable. Every American can afford a 12 gauge pump shotgun. I mean, hell, you can get those Maverick 88s sometimes for $190 at Academy. And like I said, it does fill a variety of roles. But going into what's on this guy, that makes it a little bit better, in my opinion, than your typical stock shotgun. Let's start at, we'll start at the tip down here. Just go tip to butt. So no extension on the magazine tube, but you can definitely do that, and it is suggested. I mean, whenever you have 3-inch shells, and I think it's an 18.5-inch barrel, you really can't fit that much. Okay, what I would like to do is put an extra extension plus a place for a bayonet. Just because. Zero practical purpose except for, killing zombies. But anyways, nothing really there. I do want to put a high-vis sight, but the bead works for right now. Something that you've got to have is a light. And putting a light on a shotgun can be kind of tough. It can be a little expensive, too, if you get the Surefire, which, at the end of the day, I would really suggest just getting the Surefire forend, or whatever you want to call it. It's the easiest thing to do. Just stick it on. It's a lot easier than finding a light, getting a different I think there's a Magpul forend with a off-brand hand stop, Picatinny rail with this is a Feyachi light, which I have a bunch of these work great. They're not very expensive, but they do get the job done, and I've had these for years and haven't failed on me yet, and have them on a lot of my other guns as well. But it's also got a button on the end, or not on the end, on the other side, for, as I'm holding it, I can thumb that light button if need be, with a little bit of a C grip. The hand stop makes it really comfortable. I just added this extra little shot, because there's one thing with a shotgun. The main problem with a shotgun, I guess we can just get into this a little bit now, is that the ammunition is freaking heavy, okay? And there's no great way to carry 12 gauge shells on the gun or on your person, because they take up a lot of space, okay? And when you're thinking self-defense, whatever it might be, you're going to be fighting with what is on the gun, or what you can put on your person, okay? But initially, fighting with what's on a gun, you got to find places and find a little innovation to add whatever you can, okay? Because what you can do with, what I highly suggest, you always keep these, what's the right, cruiser, what's it called? Hold on. Oh, I can't remember what the term is, but it's basically how the police keep their pumped 12 gauges in their cruisers, where they'll keep the tube loaded, nothing in the chamber, safety on if there's a safety. You know, I did add an oversized safety here that's great to deal with gloves. But keep that, you know, I think with this you can keep 5, you can technically keep 6 in the tube. It is pretty tough to get that 6th one in, I will say, so I don't even ever really try. Just keep 5 in the tube, 1 right here, that's 6. Moves down just a little bit. Then you got another 7 on the side here, and let's see, what is this? If I remember, oh, number 4 buck. So if you're somewhere where you're gonna be, you know, potentially around non-combatants, number 4 buck has been tested to be the least penetrative, where I think it goes through 6 internal walls, whereas regular buckshot will go through, I think, 9. So what have you there. I like to have it. Especially any sort of federal buckshot seems to keep it spread pretty well in this particular gun. You know, each load is going to spread differently, and you always got to make sure whatever load you pick, you have a little bit of training with that at varying distances, so you know the spread at whatever your target's at. Okay, whether it's this number 4 buck or a double-aught buck, or, you know, federal flight control, that's gonna, you know, put a fist-sized hole through anything up to, you know, 15 yards, or, you know, probably a little bit more. But going on down, already went over the safety. I do have an aluminum follower in the tube, and replace the magazine tube, or the magazine spring, so I could fit, I think I can fit 6, but I don't even try. I got a pistol grip that makes it a lot more comfortable to hold it up nice and close, and the stock is 6 position, so that is also nice. If you need to get it up tight, you can. You have that ability. If you need to, you know, lengthen it out, take a little bit of a longer shot, you totally can. But what I also got here is these federal, I think these are low recoil slugs. Really, every 12 gauge round is gonna freaking kick. I don't really notice it too much, just because I've been shooting shotguns my whole life, but low recoil, I do like them though. It is nice. I'm able to keep a nice second and third shot with these. A little bit easier than your bigger slugs, so I do like them. Especially just how I have this guy set up for home defense. Okay, that is the main job of this guy. Bump the night, you know, what have you there. Now for a sling, I've just got a single point sling. You know, oh, you don't want that to come down and hit you in the dick. It's not going to do that, okay? If I have this guy out, I'm going to have 2 hands on this guy at all times. And honestly, I've had single point slings on a lot of my guns for over a decade, and I've never slipped, and it's never came down and hit me. You know, so don't worry about that stigma. I will shout out I think the maker of the sling here, because it's an inexpensive sling, but it's a pretty high quality. Echo 9.3, I believe. E93, I think, yeah, it's Echo. But I think these little single point slings run about 20 bucks. You know, just 1-inch nylon with some metal buckles and a metal, you know, whatever you want to call this thing. You know, I really like it. I have a few of them, and they're relatively comfortable too. You know, not the most comfortable, but just being 1-inch nylon, but you know, you get the picture. If you want to do a 2-point sling, you can. Personally, I don't want to have to readjust too much. I've got this thing set up perfectly to my chest with, with or without a with a hoodie on or without a hoodie on. It's relatively similar, so it doesn't, I don't need to adjust it. Plus, I usually keep this stock kind of all the way in, just to keep it as small of a profile as possible, because it is one of those things I keep it pretty close to my bed. Sometimes it's the shower gun, depending on how I'm feeling, but want to keep this a small profile, but I also want to pack that punch. Okay, so keeping 5 in the tube, 1 here, 6, another 7. What would that be? 14. Is that right? No, 13. Sorry, 13, and then another 7. 20 rounds on the gun, and then there's a variety of ways you can load it after that, and I think I'm going to go over that in a second video, the 1.1 after that, because there are a lot of different ways. Personally, I just keep a fanny pack full of loose shells, and I know that's not super tactical or high speed, but it works. I can keep an extra 20 to 30 shells in a fanny pack, and if they're with the one I have, there are different little compartments where I have my different shells, 10 of each. And to be totally honest, if you need more than, let's say I've got 20 here, I got 30 in my fanny pack, if I need more than 50 12 gauge rounds, I am in a freaking firefight. Okay, I am freaking in it, and at that point, well, you better just transition over to something that can take a high capacity magazine. So there really is no reason to carry too much, especially in a home defense. You're thinking, whatever your scenario is. I would say for home defense, you don't need to keep very much. Say in a combat scenario, if you have a 12 gauge, you might have a guy have a breaching 12 gauge, or say if you have one guy with a 12 gauge, say something a little bit nicer, like a Benelli M4, like a nice semi-auto 12 gauge that they know how to run and gun with super well, and they have a way to keep that thing fed and carry a lot of ammunition, yeah, that's great. But that shotgun's got to be supported by at least 2 or 3 rifles. Otherwise, well, I mean, when you're that obvious disadvantage of shotgun is range. That's what everyone's always going to come back to, is range, and it's true. Range and rate of fire. In a firefight, you need to be able to, if you're not putting down suppressive fire and you can't pop up a shot, I mean, it doesn't matter. You're going to be dead. So shotgun has a lot of uses, a lot of tools, all that fun stuff. We'll definitely go over how to carry ammo, the varying ways you can carry ammo, and maybe some loading with practice shells and stuff like that. But thank you guys for watching. Until next time.